Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, everyone. So, welcome all. So, today is the second last class of this year and also before the exam. So, everyone knows exam is on 11th of December. So, exam will be at Radha Gopinath Temple from 2 to 5, as we discussed last week. So, 2 to 4 will be the written exam, and 4 to 5 will be the verse recitation. I'll show you quickly what the plan is. We already discussed that. So this open book assessment, thank you to everyone who has sent me the combined file. Still have few more devotees left who have not sent. So requesting all of you to please send your assignment. Just one file with all the short questions first of all the 6 chapters and 5 essay type questions at the end. Just one doc file. If you can send ASAP, that will be good. That actually carries the most weightage, 40%. Can I please request everyone to switch on their camera? It becomes easy for us to talk with each other. So open book assessment, which you are sending it to me, carries 40% weightage. The closed book assessment, which will be the written exam, next week on Sunday, 11th of December, that will be 30%. Shloka recitation only, no writing shlokas, just speaking the shlokas. That will be 20%, and your attendance carries 10%, and 75% attendance minimum is required. I'll be looking at the attendance actually next week. Sumit Prabhu has a very detailed chart with him, so we'll be looking at it next week. Homework, we already know that, minimum 2 hours per week. Hope everyone is doing that. Pass marks in each one is 65%, obviously, except the attendance, which is 75%. So in each section, you need to get 65% to be able to pass Module 1 and enter into Module 2. Is this clear with everyone? Anyone has any question regarding the format? And as we have discussed many times, it's going to be short questions only, just 1 or 2 liners. Some places will be only 1 or 2 words. You get full marks. And I expect in Shloka as well as in closed book, you should be actually receiving 100% marks because there is no description there. So achieving 65% here actually is really, really easy. So you should be just looking at your assignment, which you're submitting to me. It's an open book. So you're at home, you can look at it, reform it, consult with some other devotee that works for you. Make it as good as possible. You need 65% marks there as well. Attendance, we'll look at it next week. And if someone has a short of attendance, I may call them directly next week and we'll have a look. Okay, any questions on this part regarding the format of the exam or the total assessment for Module 1? Okay, I think it's all clear. So last week we had finished chapter 1 summary. We'll just quickly read this one. This again comes from PDF file, this one here. So there's nothing new in the PPT. Don't get confused. It is exactly same thing what's written here. So 4 sections here and 4 sections. Also, before I go, actually, Rupam Prabhu is not here. He has updated his file. So there's only 12 verses which you need to recite. Only 12, no 13 and no 11. So it's all written here. You can take a printout of it if that works for you, or a soft copy. Literally just no translations or anything else, just recite the verses. So I expect all of you with your friend or family, you can do some practice runs at home. It just needs to be clear and complete. That's all I expect. I'll not be telling 244 or 4.8. You just need to basically recite all these verses and know the verse number as well. So if you say 4.9 Paritranaya Sadhunam, that will be considered 0 marks. The 4.9 is Jan Kamcha Divyam. So please practice the verse numbers. Is only 12. Bhakti Shastris are supposed to be knowing much more than that. But anyway, this is a very easy one. So 4.8, 244, you need to just say and say the verse 213. So please don't quote this verse as 214 or other way. So just 12 verses. I think Rupa Prabhu has published for the whole Prabhu is one module. Oh yeah, he has put like 3 modules, right? So we're not expecting you to remember 1866, although you may know. Just the first module, which is chapter 1 to 6, which finishes here, 647. So just these verses you need to cram. No synonyms, no translations, nothing. Just the verse number and the verse. That's all. Okay, Priya Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
You're saying 12 verses, but I'm getting 13. Sorry. Am I?
I think Rupam Prabhu has
It's 13. It's 13.
It's 13. Okay, sorry, I'm wrong.
Oh,
So, okay, so Rupam Prabhu has done a good job. I haven't double checked it, to be very honest, but whatever the list is given, Rupam Prabhu is following this MIHE guideline.
okay.
It says 12. Rupam Prabhu is a,
But
I'm
it's
reading
a
wrong.
highlighted.
1.15, which is
Prabhu, you're
now
breaking, Prabhu.
Prabhu, there
Okay.
was another document that said
The voice is
verses
breaking.
for memorization. So there was another document which said verses for memorization, which had 1.15.
So 1.15 is missing, Prabhu. If you add that, then the total becomes 13.
Okay. So, is it clear, Priya Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Just I had another question that
Yes,
how
Prabhuji.
many questions are we expecting to be given for the short answer? Like for the roughly?
Okay, Mataji, we can't reveal that number. It's a 2
Okay.
hours written exam, which you have to write. It's just short questions, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Rasanand Prabhuji, you said my voice
Prabhu,
is
that
breaking.
your voice was breaking. We couldn't hear about the memory verses
Okay.
because
So,
the
Prabhuji,
list what you have put there is something different than what is here, and
No,
there
no,
was
so-
13 verses there.
Rupam Prabhu has already made the PDF file, Prabhuji.
Yeah, that is 13 verses there in there.
Yeah, so we can just follow that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Is everyone okay with this? Okay, I hope so. So let's get into the revision part. So we know the verse part. Okay, let's go back. Where is it? So we are clear on the shloka part. We are clear on the closed book assessment. We are also clear on the open book. If you haven't done it, only 5 essay questions are needed out of 10. Any 5 you can attempt, whatever you like. The short one, you have to attempt all of them. I think there are 63 or something. Am I right? Someone can correct me. So 63 short answers you need to write.
Yes, Prabhu.
Some are very short, some are little descriptory, which you can describe. Just 4 or 5 lines is enough. It's just to make sure you understand the concept. You can give references. So, and I like references like 247, 213. You can just don't have to give the whole verse. In your answers, you can definitely write 213, for example, 247 karmane vadikara. So you can write just a reference that will make sure you understand the concept well, wherever is appropriate. Even in closed book or in open book, anywhere. References are very, very good. Prabhupada said we should know our books like a lawyer knows the law books. We should be able to quote from Shastra very nicely. Okay, let's start our revision. We have a lot to cover today. So chapter 1 summary, we all know what's the name of chapter 1. It's just a side thing, but we should know this. Bragi Mataji is saying something I can't hear. Okay.
Observing the armies.
Yes, that's English name. So Sandhi Niriksha Yoga, Arjun Vishad Yoga. So first part is Sandhi Niriksha Yoga, which is the half of the chapter. 1 to 26 and 27 onwards, it is Arjun Vishad Yoga. Both names are correct. And Prabhupada chose to translate that as observing the armies on the battlefield. Both are correct. Second chapter, which we're going to start today, is Sankhya Yoga, which is one of the biggest chapter in Bhagavad Gita. After 18, this is the second biggest chapter. 72 verses. It has 5 sections. I'll pick up few key verses, which I think are the key verses. There are many, many key verses. I was looking at it. I'm like, there's so many nice verses, but we'll pick up few verses. If you have any questions, please stop me and we can go through there. So 5 sections here, 2.1 to 2.10 is Arjuna's further doubts and surrender to Krishna. So as we have read in first slide here, so Arjun gave 4 arguments in chapter 1, which was compassion, loss of enjoyment, fear of sinful reactions, and destruction of family traditions. Now the 5th argument comes only in the second chapter, 2.6, where Arjun is not very decisive that should I do the war or not do the war? Will I win over them or they will win over me? He wasn't sure. That's in 2.6, which we'll read today. That's a whole section, Arjuna's further doubts and surrender. And then I'll pick up each section and then we'll pick up some key verses. Now I have my Veda base. Can you see my Veda base here? Is it visible? Okay, so I thought it would be easier to just go through to these chapters. Okay, so here this chapter starts from Tam Tatya Kapya. Actually, I'll take 146 first. Like that verse. 146. Okay. So the last verse of the chapter 1, which basically sets up the scene for the second chapter. So evam ukta Arjuna sankhe rathopas upavishat visajya sasharam chapam shok samvigna manasa. So visajya shasharam chapam. So chapam refers to the bow. He has given up his bow and he has sat down. And how he has sat down, shoka samvigna manasa. So with a shock mind, with a very lamenting mindset, he has been sitting in the chariot. Now the next chapter starts from the same position here, which is described by Sanjaya. So Sanjaya, tam tatha kripaya vishtam ashrupurna kuleksharam. So ashrupurna. So Arjun's eyes are filled with tears. So Arjun is such a big Kshatriya, but you can imagine, visualize Arjuna's position. He's actually literally crying. He's just not like upset. He's literally crying. Prabhupada writes, his eyes full of tears. But the good part is, Vakyam Vach Madhusudana. So what does Madhusudan mean? Everyone knows, obviously Krishna, but how does it relate? Madhusudan. Any devotee?
He killed the demon Madhu.
Yes, Mataji. So what's the significance of that? That's definitely correct, a literal meaning. So similarly, I have a demon in my mind. What's my demon? Demon of doubt. So please, Madhusudan, Krishna, please kill my demon of doubt as well. So Madhusudan word is very significant here. And where does Krishna starts here? Kutashtava kashmalam idam vishme samupasitam anarejustam aswargyam akirtim karam arjun. So kutashtava kashmalam idam kashmalam. Where does this contamination come from? So at this verse, Krishna is speaking to Arjun not as a guru, not as a spiritual master, but just as a friend. One friend is demotivated, so another friend is giving a pep talk, basically. Come on, you can do it. So it's not giving any instruction. He's just saying, oh, where does the contamination come from? So you can imagine a situation which I heard in lecture. It was very nice. In the World Cup final, I'm not sure whether India reached there or no. Please don't ask me. I really don't know. But imagine if India went there and I don't know any bowlers, Sachin Tendulkar, I think he bowls as well, or bats, whatever. So if he has to, make 12 runs in the last over, Sachin Tendulkar is batting and he starts shaking. How would you feel? Now, he's not supposed to choke up at that point, right? He's supposed to take up the pressure and perform. So Arjun, in the World Cup final, everything is set up. He's just about to shoot. Even the conch shells have been blown. You know that in the first chapter, right? Now we just have to start the fight. And at this moment, Arjun is sort of shaking up. He's crying. It's like Sachin crying. Sachin is shaking up. And what will happen to the captain of India? He will say, come on, Sachin. This time is not to cry. This time is to perform. So Arjun, Krishna is saying to Arjun, why are you crying? Why are you crying? This time is not for crying. So it is called as Kashmalam. Kashmalam means mala. Mala means contamination. Where does this contamination come from you at this moment? Now, before the war, obviously, the compassion and many trials were done for the peace, but it didn't happen. Now, at the scene of the war, he is a Kshatriya, is a Dharma Yuddha instructed by Krishna. He should fight, not stop and cry and say, I can't even hold my Gandiva. So that's why Krishna is saying, Kutashtava kashmalam idam vishame samupastitam. At this final hour, where does this mala, where does contamination come from? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets, but to infamy. So he says, Anarya. So Krishna calls Arjun as Anarya. Anarya, Arya means anyone who knows the value of spiritual life. So it's not Germans or Indians. It's not like that. It's one who knows the value of life. They know the difference between the body and the soul. They are the Arya. So Krishna is saying, you are Anarya. And he's saying, Aswargyam. Your acts will lead to Aswargya, not Swargya. And you read that again in 237. And And also, actually, Krishna says a very big word, actually. Klebhyam maismagama partha neta toy upapadite. So Krishna is telling Arjun Klebya, important. It's a big word for a Kshatriya to be called as important. And how Krishna is relating, going back to the Urvasi's curse, we all know in Mahabharata, where Arjun was a eunuch for 1 year. So Krishna is saying, are you still a eunuch? You are a potent Kshatriya. You can do a lot more than that. So Krishna is giving a bit of strong talk in this 2.3. Now Arjun again starts speaking back to Krishna. He's saying, Tata Bhishma Aham Sankhyam Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishubi Prati Yosyami Pujarha Varisudana. So Pujarha means they are the worthy of my worship. How can I, fight them back? Send them my arrows. I should do the puja. I should garland them. And it's also an indication which Acharya has explained. Will you ever fight with your guru? Who's the guru of Krishna? Sandipani Muni. So basically, Arjuna is asking indirectly, you're asking me to fight with my guru, Dronacharya. Will you ever do that? They are worthy of my worship. And the next, this line, this verse is very important. Gurun Hatwahi Mahanubhavan. So what he's considering, Bhishma and Drona as Mahanubhavan. 2.5. Anyone knows the contract version of this 2.5? How do you contract it? So Arjun is saying they are Mahanubhavan. We have proof in this verse we'll be discussing. They are not Mahanubhavan. Anyone remembers how and why?
During that, Prabhu.
Yes. Yes, Prabhuji?
Yeah, during that Draupadi's incident, they didn't speak up. Prabhu. That's
Yes.
They're not.
Yes. Thank you. One of the major important points when the Draupadi's chastity was challenged by Duryodhana, Dusasana, and all those parties. They were sitting there and they did not speak up. So Krishna is saying, Krishna will clarify, they are not Mahanubhavan. And also the whole Kauravas have done so many. So Atataina word, if you remember from, if I'm not wrong, 136, Pap Meva Shray Dasman, Hatvetan Atatainaha. So Atataina, 6 types of Tatai. Kauravas have actually committed all 6 types of aggressions against Pandavas. So they are not Mahanubhavan. So basically, Arjuna is saying how I'm going to Rudir Pradigdhan, taint my throne with their blood. Valid question, looks very valid, but Krishna will clarify all that. Now 2.6 is the indecisive, which is what we looked here. The 5th argument of Arjuna, indecision, and the verse says, Yadva Jayem, Yadivano Jayem. So this is the line which is the indecisive. So should I win over them or they will win over me? We don't know. So Prabhupada writes here, conquering them or being conquered by them. Don't know what is better for me. So Arjuna is indecisive in this 2.6. 2.7. This is one of the most important verses in Bhagavad Gita, which turns the whole Bhagavad Gita. So far, Arjuna was speaking with Krishna as a friend, but now Arjuna understands Krishna may not instruct me if I just be a friend. So Arjuna surrenders to Krishna in this particular verse. Very famous, very significant verse in Bhagavad Gita. And he's saying, Shishyaste aham. So aham, I am. Shishya, I am your disciple. So you please, Tvam Prapannam, I'm surrendering unto you. So not only you say I'm a Shishya, I'm a disciple, but you don't surrender. So then you can't hear the instruction. This also proves that you should only speak when asked for. Don't just give advices. The best thing in the world which you get is free advices. Everyone gives free advices. Even Krishna was not giving unless asked by Arjuna. So Prachami Tvam Dharma Samudha Chesa. So I am lost here. You please help me. I'll read the translation, very nice. Now I'm confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I'm your disciple and a soul surrender unto you. Please instruct me. I'm not sure whether this is in the key verses list, but you should remember this verse. Even if it's not in that key verses. We'll skip that.
It is, Prabhu.
It is there. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. So it is there. There are very few verses in that key verses list, but you should know more verses because they're so nice and very, very popular verses. Now 2.9 is also very important, where Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra that Arjun is sitting down now. So evamukto Hishikesha, Gudakesha Parantapa, na yotse. Yeah, this word is very na yotse. Yotse means yuddha. So I will not do yuddha, I will not fight, basically. Arjuna is saying, so I will not fight. So what happens after this shloka? Anyone remembers? Without reading the 2.10. Dhritarashtra becomes very happy. Wow, Arjuna is not going to fight. He has put the Gandiv down and he's crying. Well done, my son have already won the match. But then the next verse, 2.10, this is also very nice, which Sanjaya is speaking. Tam vacha Hishikesha prasanna bharata senyor bhyormante vishidantam idam vacha. Now who's going to speak? Hishikesha. What does Hishikesha mean? Anyone? Hishikesha. Sonia Mataji is saying something I can't hear.
Master of the senses.
Master of the senses. Thank you. So who is the master of senses? I am the master of senses. That's what we think. But we are Godas. Many times, if not all the times, we are Godas. We are not Goswamis. But Krishna is not Godas. Huh? He is the master of senses. He is going to engage Arjuna's senses very nicely. And very soon, Arjun will get revived and he will start fighting. Now 2.11, this is where you can say practically Bhagavad Gita starts. How many verses Krishna spoke in chapter 1? Anyone? How many verses Krishna spoke in chapter 1?
Only
None, Prabhu.
one sentence he spoke.
One? Okay. Any middle point? None. None verses 1. Anyone? Mahasa Prabhu saying no. How many no's are there? Please raise your hand.
There's only two words he says.
Only 2 words he said. Thank you. 1/4 you can say. Huh? 1/4. Huh? Samvetan Kuruniti. No, he did say, Prabhuji. He did say. So Samvetan Kuruniti. So please see, look at, please behold the Kurus. He said 2 words. He said, huh? Look at Kurus, basically. Huh? So 2 words. 1/4 verse. He said in chapter 1. So technically, you can say Bhagavad Gita starts from this point onwards to 11. Huh? So he has already spoken 2 verses up, but now he's going to instruct Arjuna. Huh? So far he was just saying, come on, yeah, you can do it. Why are you so down? Huh? Now he starts speaking. And where does he speak from? In verse 1, what does he do? He chastises. Huh? So first thing a spiritual master does, chastises the disciple. So if you get chastisement from your spiritual master, what should you feel? Fortunate. Prabhupada was traveling in a plane once. He has 3 disciples actually with him. Yeah, 3 disciples. So he asked first one, he had given some project to this first disciple and said, so what's happening with that? So he put his head down, Prabhupada, sorry, I have not able to complete that. It's in progress. Prabhupada was very heavy on him. Second one, in the same, little anger, Prabhupada asked, so what's happening with your project? He said, sorry, Prabhupada, I'm also in progress. Third one was sitting and smiling. So Prabhupada looked at him and he said, before even Prabhupada could ask the question to him, he said, Prabhupada, I have already done my work. So Prabhupada actually told him, you have lost the opportunity to get purified from your spiritual master. Huh? So he cut through his ego because third disciple thought, I have already done my project. My spiritual master will be very happy. He said, you have lost the opportunity to get purification from your spiritual master. So when a spiritual master is sort of chastising you and telling you some things which our ego doesn't like to hear, actually we are very fortunate, very, very fortunate. We should really, thanks to our spiritual master. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's an instance where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what's this devotee's name? Anyway, I forgot one devotee. He said, I will not see your face for 10 million lifetimes. Anyone remembers that, the devotee? Anyway, I know him, it will come into my head. Anyway, so he started dancing. He started dancing after hearing that. Yay! And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was, what? I said, I will not see your face for 10 million lifetimes. He said, that means you're saying that 10 million lifetimes later you will see me. That's the surety, that's the assurance you're giving me. What is this 10 million lifetime? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased with his behavior. So anytime, a senior Vaishnava, a sannyasi or a spiritual master chastises us, actually it cuts through our ego. It's very purifying. Now it doesn't mean we should not follow their instruction and be lazy all the time because then I'll get the chastisement. It's nothing like that. But you try your best even if you are not able to complete and they say no, you must complete it on time, or some other things like that. We are very, very, very fortunate. So in this verse, he is saying, you're talking like a pandita, but you're not a pandita. Eh? is saying, while he's speaking learned words, because Arjuna was saying, Aham Shushruma. So I have heard this from authority. You're talking very learned words. And Arjun was speaking learned words, but he was speaking on a different level where Krishna is speaking from. He's saying, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Like a child may be very upset if he loses, you know, a $2 ball or something. Parents will say, it's all right. Child is like crying and crying and crying, and he's like, it's okay. It's not worthy of so much grief. So Arjun is crying for something. As Prabhupada gave this famous example, if someone is drowning and he's saying, please help, please help, please help, and a person jumps into the river and saves, but what he saves? The coat of the person. And he comes out, says, yes, I have saved the person, I have saved the person. But others will say, oh, you only saved the coat, but the actual man is dead. So we are loving the body so much and we forget the soul. Not that we should not love the body, but not on top of the soul. So Krishna is saying it's not worthy of your grief. Those who are wise limit neither for the living nor for the dead. So asochan anusochastam pragyavadansha bhasase gatasun agatasuncha nanusochanti panditaha. So sochanti word is used here again 3 times actually. Asochan anusochastam and na anusochanti. So we should be very wise on which we should lament and what we should not lament. Usually we lament for the material things and not lament for the spiritual things. It should be other way. His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj said, there is nothing in this material world for which we should become too serious about. There's nothing in this material world. We always become both upset. I'm very upset. This and that is going on in life, but there's nothing in the material world where we should get too serious about. We should get too serious about the serious thing. My Guru Maharaj says, become serious about the serious thing. But we become serious about the unserious thing. It's opposite, and that's why we are called in illusion. We are in illusion. We think what is good for us as not good for us, like a spiritual life is good for us. We say, no, that's okay. I'll chant later. I'll go to Mangala Aarti later. I'll do my studies later. Many times, we push it forward, and material things we take it so promptly. Sometimes, obviously, we have to take, but not always. 2:12, this is also one of the very, very important verses which slashes the Mayavad philosophy. So it establishes the individuality of everyone forever, eternal individuality of each person. So he says, Natve Vaham Jatunasam, not tam neme Janadipa. Janadipa refers to the kings. So it's talking about you, me, na chaiv na bhavishyama. You, me, and all these kings were always present in the past, are present now, and will be present in future as well. Sarve vayam atah param. So Prabhupada writes, never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any one of us cease to be. So that proves there is no merging, which Mayavadis say. So it was a Brahman, somehow it came here, it will go back and merge into that Brahman, and we'll lose our individuality. And Prabhupada also writes the 2-bird example. One bird who is eating the fruit and one bird who is watching other birds eating the fruit. Prabhupada also gives the example of river merging into ocean, which Mayavadis give the example, river merges into the ocean, but Prabhupada calls individuals as aquatics. So we are not the river, we are the aquatics. So in the material world, we are like aquatics. So when the aquatics, the river aquatics go to the ocean, what happens to the aquatics? They still remain. It's just changed the residence. So you're living in one part of Sydney, you move to another part of Sydney. That's all about it. There's nothing much is happening. Okay, 2:13. That's one of the very, very important verses. I am sure it will be there in the key verses as well. Rupam Prabhu, yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. Mohit Prabhu already knows all the verses. So 2:13, everyone knows this verse. So Krishna, through this verse, what is he proving? We all know the verse. What is he proving? Anyone? We're going to appear in the exam next week.
Getting a new body is not something we should rejoice of or lament.
That's the result of this verse, yes. But what's the key point in this verse? Just 1 or 2 words, 1 line. You're not the body, you're the soul.
Soul get transmigrated from one body.
Yeah. You're not the body, you're the soul. Simple as that. As a soul is getting transferred from boyhood to youth to old age, soul transfers like you are in one apartment or a house. You move from one room to another and another, and once the apartment boundaries finish, you move to the next apartment, next house. Simple as that. Rupam Prabhu has 4 bedrooms. You know, you go to bedroom 1, bedroom 2, 3, 4, and after that, outside, isn't it? Then you enter into the road or to another's house. Simple as that. So why we are crying? Simple. So 2.12 establishes the individuality and this eternality actually. So 2.12 establishes eternality of the soul, and this is the individuality of the soul. So all souls always exist all the time. They just change the bodies. They just change from material location to spiritual location. Within material world, they change the location. 214, so 213. So when Krishna says the change is just very normal. So Arjun says, but my grandfather will change his body. My spiritual master will change his body. So Krishna says, whatever changes happens within the body or after the body, what you should do, tolerate, tolerate, tolerate. Anyone knows the equivalent verses of 214 in Bhagavad Gita Module 1? What's the equivalent verse? Priya Mataji is saying something I can't hear. Oh, you're not talking to me. Okay. What's the equivalent verse of 214 in Module 1 Bhagavad Gita? In first 6 chapters. We have read it many, many times. So how many tolerances are told here in this particular verse? Everyone can see my hand. 4 types of tolerance. What is that?
Duality,
yes, Rasanan Prabhuji. So Sita, Ushna, Sukha, and Dukha. What is that next to left? Man, Apman. Which verse explains all 6 miseries? 6.7 Jitatmana Prashantasya Paramatma Samahita Shitoshan Sukha Dukheshu Tatha Mana Apmanyo. So it's similar as well as extension of the verse. So 6 types of up and down we receive in this material life all the time. You cannot avoid it. Sita Ushna, so sometimes it will be cold, sometimes it will be hot weather, sometimes you'll feel pleasure, sometimes you'll feel not very pleasurable. So this is just normal. And sometimes someone will respect you, sometimes someone will insult you. I was listening to some lecture, he was saying, the speaker was saying, some people like you and some people dislike you. This is just normal. So do not expect everyone will like you. It doesn't happen even with God. Even with God, some people like God, some people don't, some people dislike. So it's just the way it is. So but what you should do, tolerate. If someone likes you or dislikes you, you should carry on your duties. And if you carry on your duties, what will happen? Some dukha sukham dhiram som amrit tattvaya kalpate. So what you will receive? Amrita. Here amrita does not just refer to a physical amrita. The nectar of the Sarg Loka here refers to eligibility for liberation. Okay, there are a lot of verses. I'll skip through some verses. This 227, I really like this verse. This is spoken. Anyone knows the equivalent verse of 227 in Bhagavatam? Everyone knows, I'm just asking. Rupa Prabhu is saying something.
I was saying, Bhagavatam we haven't touched yet, Prabhu.
Bhagavatam we haven't touched. Prabhu, we all are Bhagavati. Many of you speak on Bhagavat.
Out of scope, Prabhu.
Out of scope. Yes, actually it is out of scope. That is true. Technically, it is out of scope. So in Bhagavatam, where...
Sorry, Prabhu, to interrupt, but 214 equivalent, what was the shloka number?
6.7.
Thank you.
So 227, this is almost exact, 90% exact same verse when Kansa and Vasudevji speaking. So Kansa is holding the hair of Devaki and trying to chop the head of Devaki. In that time, so this is one of the first verses which Vasudevji speaks with Kansa, that why are you worried about your death? Jata sehi dhruvo mrityu. Jat means janma. If you have taken janma, dhruvo means we have Dhruv Prabhuji in our Sangha, Dhira Prabhuji. What does Dhruv mean? You know, Dhruv means Pakka. Dhruv means Pakka. We have Dhruv Maharaj in Bhagavatam as well. Pakka. He says he will do it. So Dhruva. What is Dhruva? What is certain? Mrityu. So if you have taken Janma, Mrityu is Dhruv. Mrityu is certain. Death is certain. So all of us sitting here, we have taken Janma. I'm sure everyone has a passport, Indian or Australian, doesn't matter. Which will have, your date of birth, DOB. And unfortunately, we all have DOE as well, date of expiry. It's all written here. You can't read my head, I can't read your head, but it does not mean it's not written. Sometimes, we can't read. So, I have this phone, everyone has phone. So it was on a small chip. Everyone has a phone, it will have a chip. Can you read the chip if I give the chip in your hand? If I give the chip in your hand, you can't read anything. It's just a little microprocessor. Any electronic engineers here? I'm not sure. But when the chip is in the phone, you can read. There are hundreds of contacts here. There's hundreds of documents here, hundreds of videos, audios, everything is there. So the chip has everything, but you need a machine to read. So our forehead has everything. Everything is written here. But we don't have a person who can read it. That's the person's, absence of that person doesn't mean the destiny is not present. Destiny is present. So jata se hi dhruva mrityu. So if you have taken birth, mrityu is dhruv. Mrityu is certain. And dhruvas. What is the second dhruva? Mrityu dhruvam janma mritasya. So if you die, janma is dhruva. So if you have a body, mrityu is dhruv, and if you have died, then janma is dhruv. Now, where you will take janma, that will depend on your karma. So you will take janma in material world. In material world, you become human or cat or dog or patal or swarga, doesn't matter. Or you go to spiritual world, but you will take janma. So there's no point to lament at all. Tasmat aparyarthe. Aparyarthe means it has to happen. Natam sochitam harjasi. You should not be lamenting about it. There's nothing to lament. This dead body will go. Radhanath Maharaj speaks in a lecture very nicely. And the title of the lecture was Decorating the Dead Bodies. Thus Maharaj speaks decorating the dead bodies. So Maharaj was saying, I'm not saying, so don't blame me if you don't like this. He's saying when you decorate this body, just this outer body with a lot of jewelry and whatnot, you are decorating a dead body. What's the real decoration of a human body? What's a real decoration? When you develop the spiritual qualities, that is the real jewel. That is a real decoration of the human body. Not just decorate the outer body. He said, decorate your soul as well. So when you decorate the soul, then you look beautiful. You really look beautiful. Outside appearance, who cares? So very nice verse 227. Now, 228 is also very nice. We'll go to the last one. 230. Dehi nityam avadhyayam dehe sarvasya bharat smat sarvani bhutani natam sochitam harasi. The whole section, let's look into PDF file here. So 2.11 to 2.30 is the Jnana section or a Sankhya Yoga section, whatever you want to call it. It says fight on the basis of what? You're not the body or the soul. This section is the counter argument of which argument of Arjuna, which Arjuna has given in the first chapter. Anyone remembers? So this is a counter argument by Krishna for the argument which Arjuna has given in the first chapter.
And enjoyment. Enjoyment.
No.
Compassion.
Sorry?
Compassion.
Compassion. Thank you, Prabhuji. Compassion. So you're compassionate about the body that I will kill my relative. He said, no, but you're not the body. So this is the counter argument for the compassion. And I can also show you here in your handbook. Here. So I'm reading page 21. This is all with you. Jnana 2.11 to 30 is the defeats compassion argument of Arjuna. So enjoyment, Rupam Prabhuji, is covered here in the Karma Kanda section. So he's saying how I will enjoy. Krishna says, no, you can still enjoy. 237, I'll pick up. I really like 237. 237, very famous verse. Everyone know this one. Hato va prapsasi swargam jitva va bhokshase mahim. So hato means if you get killed, prapsasi swargam, you will prapte. What you will get? You will get swargloka. You will go to heavenly planet. So in the war, in a religious war, if you get killed, you get swargloka. Which other religion follows the similar thought patterns? Anyone? Now, Prabhu, on the spot, is about to say something. Which other religion follows the similar thought patterns? Islam. What do they say, Prabhu? If you die in jihad,
yeah, there'll be 7 virgins waiting for you.
72, I heard. Sorry, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu said 72 virgins. So Chaitanya Charan Prabhu was saying they don't love God, they love 72 virgins up there. So there's no jihad there. There's no jihad, and jihad has to be done. The opponent has to be alert. Opponent has to be equal. equal and alert, and one more. Equipped. So these three things has to be there. But they're killing innocent people on the train station, on airport and all that. So there's no jihad. And jihad, love of God, is also not there. This is the love for the Prabhuji said virgins. So it's complete misinterpretation. Sorry, Master Prabhu?
Sorry, Prabhu. Jihad, the translation that you saying, of course, it is actually contaminated translation. The real meaning of translation of jihad is that you actually have to fight against your instinct so that you can love the Lord. You have to do everything against so that you can love the Lord. Like you're lazy, right? You should not be lazy. So fighting against laziness is jihad. The actual meaning of jihad is that you actually have to sacrifice everything. Sacrifice is your own self, not that you kill other ones. So these people have actually changed the whole translation and they contempt.
You are giving devotional interpretation of these
No,
words.
Prabhu, that is actually the translation in Quran. But these idiots, they have actually contaminated all together. Sorry for that.
No, perfect. We like to hear more about these things. And even on the material level, when they talk about jihad, so jihad should be done, as far as I have heard, to protect your religion, if you have to do something. So here it's a religious war, and Krishna is saying, even if you get killed in the war, you will get to the Swargloka. And Jitva, the other option is, if you win, Bhokshase Mahim. Bhokshase means Bhogana. You will be enjoying what Mahim is Prithvi. You'll be enjoying the whole earth. So what's the problem? Like regarding enjoyment, you'll enjoy in Swargloka or in Prithvi Loka. So both ways you are in a win-win situation. So that's the second argument of Arjun, where he was saying enjoyment. Prasannatma Prabhuji.
Sorry, I just had a doubt here. Like when these Muslims, when they do these jihadis, when they die saying the name of Allah and kill innocent people, will they get liberation?
Okay, that's a very difficult question. So what Prabhupada said, all I can say, Prabhupada said pious Muslims go to a pious planet. Prabhupada said that. So some pious Muslims who follow the rules and regulations of their religion, they end up going in a pious planet. So Hariswari Prabhu was giving lecture, was telling this, what I'm saying, Prabhu. So he's saying there must be some heavenly planets for them as well. But it's not who do not follow the rules, it's for them who follows the rule. Now, how Allah will reciprocate on that point and moment, I think only Allah knows. It's very hard for us to comment on those things. But we can just repeat what Prabhupada said. Prabhupada said, pious Muslims, pious Christians, they will also go to a pious planetary system. Yeah. Because
I was just thinking about, like, when Lord comes, there are a lot of demons like Ravana, Hiranyakashipu. They were all fighting only, sort of. They are killing. So they got liberation. So just thinking whether these demons also will get liberation.
Yeah, so that's an incomplete understanding just by fighting with Lord. So first is they were so big demon that Lord had to come to fight. And the second is, Acharyas explained, they were already devotees. And the one who were not devotees were so big demons that they saw Lord. But eventually they will get merged into that Brahmajyoti. Again, not fully merged, but they will go till the Brahmajyoti only. They'll not go back. But Ravan went back to Godhead later because he was already a devotee. So many times we just take the last statement, but there are many backgrounds to it as well. Okay. Let's move.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So there's 2 sections. Let's move to the third one in the second chapter. So Karma Kanda we covered. So Jnana and Karma Kanda. So 2 arguments we covered in this chapter for Arjuna. Now third section here you see, fight without any reaction. That's 39 to 53. This is Prabhupada called it Nishkama Karma Yoga. So fight with detachment. Let's look at few verses there. So basically we have 247, the famous 247 Karmane Vatikaraste Ma Palesh Padachan Ma Karmphal Hetubhu Mate Sangos Akarmani. So this is one of the most quoted verses, especially among Indians. They love this verse, but only half line of the verse. Karmane Vatikaraste, I am doing my duty. So yes, you are doing your duty. That's very nice, but that's only half of the verse. What's the next half of the verse? Ma Karmphal Hetu. Ma means no. But you have no adhikar, no right on the fruits of the work. and mate sangos akarmani. And at the same time, we should not become lazy, as Mahasa Prabhu was saying. We should not become lazy. Akarmani. So Prabhupada writes, never be attached to not doing your duty. So you should always perform your duty. So Arjun, you should also perform your duty. And if you perform your duty just as a duty, then you'll not get the reaction, because you're performing your duty. Now, the beautiful verses. I'll just move to 254, which is Arjuna's question, which is the last section of this chapter, where Arjun asks, okay, Krishna, you have explained all these concepts. Which person is able to follow these? Can you please explain me in a nutshell? So this is the last section. This is called Isthita Pragya. Basically, a person who follows the philosophy which you have explained earlier. So Arjun asks how many questions? Anyone can tell without looking at the words? Okay, you can look at the Sanskrit. Manish,
4 questions.
huh?
4 questions, bro.
4 questions. Thank you. Manish Prabhu was going to say something.
I'm going to say the same number.
Sorry, Prabhu.
I was also going to say 4.
Thank you. Can you tell Manmohan Prabhuji which all 4 questions are there from the Sanskrit? It's not going to come in the exam, but I'm just doing the summary of the chapter.
Sure, Prabhu. How does he sit? How does he walk?
So, ka bhasha, Prabhuji, ka bhasha is one.
What
So,
is
bhasha
his
refers to
speech. Or how does he speak? Or how does he
characteristics.
think? Sorry, how does he think?
No, characteristics. What are the symptoms of these persons? So, external symptoms. And Isthit Pragya is the word for that person. Isthit Pragya, his steady intelligence. Pragya means intelligence. Sthita means steady intelligence. Who is that person with steady intelligence? So how do I identify? Ka bhasha, what are his characteristics? Samadhistasya Keshava Isthadhi Kim Prabhasit. So Kim Prabhasit. Prabhasit refers to bhasha, speech. How does he speak? So what are his external symptoms and how does he speak? Now internal. So 2 external, 2 internal. Kim asit. What does asit mean?
How does he sit?
Hide the synonyms. Asit, baithna, asan. There's a word in Hindi or Sanskrit, asan, to sit. Kim asit. What does sitting refers to?
Controlling.
How does he control his mind? Thank you, Rupam Prabhuji. Vrajed. So Vraj means we have Vrindavan, Vrajavasi. Vraj means chalna, to move. How does he move around? So how does he move around in this material world? Here, move around does not mean, Mr. Universe or Miss Universe, how does he walk? No, nothing like that. Vrajit Kim is how does he move around in this material world, which is full of temptations. Kim Asit, how does he sit? How does he control his mind? So 4 questions Arjun is asking, and I'll show you the MIHE guide, which has these 4 answers. I also don't remember, to be very honest. I look at it. So symptoms is 255, speech is 256 to 257. Sitting, controlling his mind, 258 to 263, and there we have the famous verses 262, Dhyayate Pishyan Punshasangase Subjayate, 262 to 263, that's the controlling the mind. So 261 actually is controlling the mind, and 262 and 63 is if you don't control the mind, what happens? And how does he walk around in the material world, which is full of temptations, 264 to 272. Let's look at few verses here. Everyone knows this 262. Rupam Prabhu is there in the key verses?
Not that one, Prabhu.
No.
Not that one. Mohit Prabhu is fully ready. I really like it. Okay, I have your PDF file, Prabhuji. Oh, not that. 244. Oh, I missed 244. Okay, Bhogasha Rustam Taya Prasya Samya Sam. It's also very nice verse. So if the mind is prasakta means asakta and prasakta, attached and super attached to what? Bhoga and Aishwarya. So Bhoga is, all these sensory enjoyments we have, and Aishwarya is controlling power. So everyone, loves, money and power. That's what they say. So if you are asakta, rather prasakta means very much attached. Taya aparhat chetasam. Chetasam refers to the consciousness. Aparhat means apaharan, kidnapping. Their consciousness is being kidnapped by Maya. So if you are in that sort of situation, Vyavasatmika buddhi samadha na vidhiyate. So you will not go into samadhi. You will not be very focused. This verse is the opposite of which verse in Bhagavad Gita?
41.
Everyone knows that one.
41.
41. Thank you. Vyavasatmika buddhi eke he kurunandana. So 241, 244, they are opposing verses. Okay, so that we have done. Now jumping to 327, there's nothing in between. Wow, you're lucky. Really lucky, huh? There's nothing in between. Okay, no worries. To 262 to 263, I've got this chart, which I'm sure I have shared. Where is that chart? Okay, this one. This chart is not made by me. This is by Tyag Chaitanya Das Prabhuji. So I've just taken. So what are the 7 stages of fall down? I'll put the verse as well. So dhyayato vishyan purusa. So Krishna is saying dhyayato. What does dhyayato mean? Okay, vishyan means vishay vastu, whatever we see from our eyes, for example. So Krishna is not saying drishyato vishayan. So drishyato means to see. You don't fall down only after seeing. You fall down after remembering. Seeing is no problem. Many times, huh? Sometimes seeing is also a problem, but seeing is not the beginning. Beginning is the dhyayato, when we start contemplation. Huh? Ajamil saw something. Everyone knows what is he saw? Some dirty scene he saw and he fell down. Narad Muni also saw a dirty scene. Nal Kuber, Manigreva, they were taking bath in clothless state with other girls and they're drinking alcohol and all that. Did Narad Muni fall down? So seeing is not necessarily the problem. Many times we blame, someone is wearing inappropriate dresses, this and that. Actually, that's not a problem. Now, other argument also is valid. We should not wear inappropriate dresses, but the point is not just seeing is the problem. When a Narad Muni sees, there is no problem. When Ajamil sees, there's a problem. So where's the problem? In Ajamil or in Narad Muni seeing? Ajamil seeing is the problem. So we are like that little Ajamils. Huh? So when we see, we start blaming that object, but that's not the problem. Huh? We are not strong enough. Prabhupada said, one time Prabhupada disciple said, Prabhupada, Maya is very strong. So Prabhupada said, no, Maya is not strong. Your determination is not strong enough. Maya is not strong. Maya is strong, but your determination to be a devotee is not strong enough. And that's what I personally feel. Huh? Many times we are in Maya, not because that, Maya was super strong. We actually go towards the Maya. Prabhupada gave that famous example of you hold the tree and say, oh, this tree is not leaving me. Tree is not leaving me. And you laugh at it. Tree is not leaving you or you're not leaving tree. So Maya is not strong. We are not determined enough to be the devotee all the time. That's what most of us problem is. We are weak. That's what my Guru Maharaj says. We are weak devotees. Huh? We are not strong devotees. So we are devotees, Maharaj said. So we are in a journey from weak devotee to a strong devotee. So we should try that. So dhyayate vishayan. So vishayan punsaha. So first we contemplate on the sense objects. What happens? Sangha se supajayate. Sangha refers to anyone? Sangha is a very famous word. If we can all unmute and just have a quick two-way chat or multi-way chat.
Sangha is association, Prabhu?
Association, yes. So Sangha se supajayate. So when we contemplate about a car, for example, oh, that car is very nice. And slowly the attachment gets generated in our mind. Huh? Sangat sanjayate kamaha, that desire comes. I should have the car. Now, you never thought about the car earlier, but when you saw your car, not your car, a car with your friend, with your best friend, oh, he has a nice car. Actually starts from there, he has a nice car. But then you start thinking, what if I can also have a car like him? So first one, oh, nice car. Nice car. You think, oh, lights are good, speed is good, model is good, blah, blah, blah. And money is also good. They think, oh, I wish kamaha, desire. You get the desire. I should own that. Kama krodha vijayate. And how does kama convert to krodha? Anyone? Unfulfilled kama gets converted to krodha. Fulfilled kama gets converted to lobha.
Lobha.
Krodha and lobha, bhai. They are brothers. Huh? So there's no third version to it. Huh? You fulfill your kama, like, wow, see, I'm so intelligent. I did it. Huh? Then you get lobha. You buy a lottery ticket, very simple example. You win a $10 lottery, $100 lottery. You're tempted to buy that ticket again. That's how the whole business works. Huh? They give you, I've heard, I don't know how it was, but some winnings sometimes, even in the casinos as well. They give you some winnings. I don't know, 20, 30, may one winning, so that you're tempted to put. If you always lose, then you're not tempted to put more. So kama krodho abhijayate. So these are the 4 parts in the second verse. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Sammoha, Prabhupada writes very nicely, perfect illusion. So moha is illusion, sammoha, samyak moha, perfect illusion. You get into perfect illusion. Huh? And with the sammoha, ismrati vibramaha. Vibram is bewilderment. You're confused actually. What is right? What is wrong? You're not too sure about it. Smriti Bhranshad, Buddhi Nasho. Nasha word is used here. So from Vibhramaha, first you are confused and then you are Nash. First you are always confused. Like initially, Ravan was also confused initially in the beginning, very, very beginning. But then Buddhi Nasha. No, no, no. I will get Sita. I'll get Sita. And who is this Ram? Who will stop me? So many people said, don't touch Sita, but he did not listen. First time, I think we have discussed, Marichi told Ravan that don't even think about taking Panga from Lord Ram. Don't even think. He went back to Lanka. But then later he came back again. So first he took the warning sign, but then later Buddhi Nashad. When Sita's beauty was explained to Raman, then he is completely lost. Buddhi Nashad Pranashyati, completely lost. Now say Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, bewilderment. What is the difference between bewilderment and loss of intelligence? Because intelligence, as we say most of the time, is that we can actually take a decision, right? Which says which is right and which is wrong.
That is mind, Prabhuji, sankalpa or vikalpa. So mind only does two things, sankalpa or vikalpa. Doing it.
So what is the function of intelligence?
On the basis of intelligence from the past memory. A simple example, Prabhuji, if you burnt your tongue from a hot milk, in Hindi you say, "Doodh ka jala chhaan pi kya pita hai." So because you have burnt your tongue last time, so even if someone presents you a yogurt, a liquid yogurt, you will think, oh, this must be hot as well. So this is based on your past impression. You say, I'm not going to do it straight away. I will blow it. I will make it a little cool and then I will drink it. And someone says, Prabhuji, it's already cold. So like that. So mind does sankalpa and vikalpa. Buddhi basically is your storage of all the impressions, past impressions. So Buddhi gets confused here. Say Buddhi, Smriti Vibhrama. So Smriti Vibhrama, you get bewildered. Should I do it or not do it? Suppose you don't have money to buy something. You're walking from a shop. A simple example, Rasgulla. Rasgulla is 20 rupees. You don't have 20 rupees in your pocket. So you're thinking, should I do it or not do it? But later you think, actually, I should do it. I should steal it. So when you are initial stage, you're thinking about it. Should I do it or not do it is bewilderment. Because some of your part will say, no, stealing is bad. I should not steal. Some of your part will say, but it's only one Rasgulla. One time chalega. So, but later you are determined to say, no, actually stealing is fine. There's no problem in stealing. So as I said, the example of Raman, initially he thought about Ram and he said, okay, I have many ladies. But later he said, no, this one, I must have it. Okay.
Sorry, how do you explain then Buddhi Nasho in context to that? Because I'm still very confused when you say bewilderment and Buddhi Nasho. What is the differentiation between them? Can you please explain?
One is your confusion state, Prabhuji, where you're thinking yes or no. One is the determined stage, what you're going to do. Or here in this context, a negative thing. So anytime, Prabhu, we all have experienced that when we're trying to do a negative thing, our one part says don't do it, our one part says do it. But later, if we decide to do it, that is called Buddhi Nasha. Although your consciousness was saying, actually, you should not do that. But then you say, chalega. Only one coffee. What's the big deal in that? But we all struggle, right? In many ways. And not a coffee, but maybe other things. We struggle. We know what is right. We know what is wrong. But sometimes we go towards the wrong path. And then Krishna will explain that Kama Esha Krodha Esha Rajogun Samadva Mahashano Mahapapa Vidadhenmi Varinam 337. Okay, let's move forward. 63. Now one more verse. Oh, every verse is very, very nice. Okay, 65, I can have a quick look. Prasade Sarvadukhanam. So Prasade word comes from actually 64 to 64. Prasadam adhigacchati. So basically, as I said, 61 is controlling the mind, 62, 63 not controlling the mind. But if you are able to control the mind, what you get? Prasadam adhigacchati. You get the mercy of the Lord. With the mercy, what happens? Prasade sarvadukhanam hani rasya upajayate. With the prasada, with the mercy, what happens? Sarvadukhanam hani. Hani means to kill. All the dukkhas will go. All the dukkhas will go. Prasanna chet. So he ashu. Ashu means very jaldi, very, very fast. Prasanna chet. So we are all looking forward for a healthy inner mindset. healthy and happy inner mindset, which we can't get it. Why we can't get it? Because we are not getting the prasad. And why we not getting the prasad? Because going back to 262 and 363, many times we fall down, many times. Janananda Maharaj was saying, not only we fall down, like when we say Bharat Maharaj fell down, or this person fell down with a lady or something. No, actually Maharaj said we fall down every day, many times a day. And Maharaj gave a simple example. We can fall down even for a pakoda. You see a pakoda without offering, you see, oh, this pakoda is so nice, I want to have this pakoda, and you're not thinking, oh, it's a bhoga, Krishna has not accepted it. A devotee will always question. You remember Madhavendra Puri, when he was looking at the kheer at Remuna. So Madhavendra Puri thought about the kheer of tasting. Now he was thinking about tasting for his Gopal, but then he later condemning himself that, oh, this was the bhoga, how can I even think about it? And he walked out of the temple. So a devotee always thinks, have Lord accepted it? I remember a little girl, she plucked some flowers, and mom also plucked some flowers, and mom was sort of smelling the flowers, and the little girl says to mom, don't smell the flowers, it's not offered as yet. Little girl was telling the mom, very nice. And mom was sharing later, my daughter was telling me that this flowers are not offered, Krishna has not smelled, so you don't smell. Very nice. A little girl, 5-6-year-old girl, very nice. So the girl is telling mom, it should be other way, that mom, please don't smell the flowers. So a devotee is always thinking, is bhoga or prasad, bhoga or prasad. I can only accept prasad, nothing else. Okay, so prasad, if you're talking about the prasad, that's the word 264, prasad. And if you get prasad, sarv dukkhanam hani. So if you want to get rid of all the miseries in your life, what you should be achieving for? Prasad, mercy. And how should you achieve mercy? Controlling the mind. Not easy, but abhyasentu konteya vairagyan chagrahiyate. We'll read about that later. Okay, every verse is very, very nice. 69, I love this verse. Ya Nisha Sarvbhutanam. So what does Nisha refers to? Can I ask you some questions? Jayaprakash Prabhu is ready to answer. What does Nisha refers to here? Now don't translate the word. I need the significance. Anyone? What does Nisha refers to here? Nisha means Rat, night. What does night refers to a spiritualist? Sense gratificatory activities. For a sense gratificatory activities, is for a spiritualist, this is night time. Someone is drinking alcohol, cigarette, and all that. A spiritualist will not be tempted, but a materialist will get tempted. Wow, nice alcohol and nice cigarette and whatnot, nice nightclub and blah, blah. But for a spiritualist, we just don't get attracted towards those activities. So it's called Nisha. And what is the daytime? For a spiritualist, daytime is spiritualistic activities. That's a night time for a materialist. So when we are chanting, we are reading Bhagavad Gita Sunday, there's Bhagavad Gita Jayanti in the temple, we'll be reading. And you ask your neighbor, if they're not devotees, please come to the temple, there's a Bhagavad Gita Jayanti. What they will say? Time nahi hai. I don't have time. What are you going to do in 5 hours in the temple? I was speaking to someone, he's saying, you're going to stay 6 hours in temple. They just cannot comprehend what we are going to do for 6 hours. They cannot. And we'll be staying probably 7-8 hours. 12:30 is Aarti, 1 o'clock Bhagavad Gita, 6 o'clock Yagya, 7 o'clock Aarti and Prasadam. We're so excited for Bhagavad Gita. I love this day. They cannot. 7 hours in the temple. What are you going to do there? So this is a very nice verse. Ya Nisha Sarvbhutanam Tasyam Jagrati Sanyami. Sanyami refers to the spiritualist. Sanyami, who has Sanyam, who has control over his indriyas, over his mind. Ya Nisha Sarvbhutanam. So all the bhutas, what is Nisha? That is Jagrati. Jagrati means jagne wala hai. He is always awake. So materialist people are not interested in the spiritualistic activities, but a spiritualist transcendentalist is very much interested in those activities. And it's the other way. Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani Sa Nisha Pashito Munehe. So this verse I was speaking to one person, he was saying it's not about America mein din hai, India mein raat hai. It's a daytime in America, so India is night time. And India's night time is daytime for America. That is Ya Nisha Sarvbhutana. That's not the meaning of the verse. And 70s, one of the most beautiful verses. Apure Madam Achalam Pratistam Samudram Apa Prashanti Advat. I'll read the translation quickly. It's very, very nice. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires. Now we can obviously judge ourselves how much we get disturbed with our flow of desires. When the desires come in our heart, do we try to start fulfilling them. Now here desire mean material desire, not a spiritual desire. If you go after those desires, suppose there's a sale, and you get a WhatsApp message, oh, there's a sale here, sale there, you start planning yourself. I have to go and the store is going to get closed soon and there's a sale. Oh, my size isn't there. Can you get the size from another store? There's so much anxiety to achieve something. And imagine if you're constantly into it, you can never be peaceful. So a person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enters like rivers into the ocean. I think we can all match up with this line here. So many desires come into our mind. We are sitting, listening class, and so many desires, so many thoughts still coming in. Ye kab band honge? So much work to do. When is going to stop? I have so much work to do. So it happens with all of us, which is ever being filled, but is always still, can alone achieve peace. So the word here is sa shantim apnoti na kama kami. Kama means desire. Kami means one who is the desirer of the desire. That's what I say. Not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. So if you're constantly satisfying your material desires, you'll not be peaceful. But you're constantly satisfying Krishna's desire, you will be peaceful because you are a Krishna devotee. What's that saying? Krishna Bhakta Bindas, Maya Bhakta Sada Udas. So if you're a devotee of Maya, you're always Udas, you're always depressed because there will be incompleteness, there will be imperfection, there will be failures. But Krishna Bhakta Bindas, even if he wins, if he loses, who cares? We are not competing with anyone. We are just trying to please our spiritual master and Krishna. We're not competing. We're not trying to win over, oh, I've lost the match. Nothing like that. Everything we do for the pleasure of the Lord is a great, great success. Okay, so we stop at 270. It's a very, very nice chapter. Oh. This is the 71 verse. It explains who will be peaceful. So, vihaya kaman. So, kaman means desire. Vihaya means to give up. Sarvan nispraha. And how should you go around? Nispraha. Nispraha means no desire, no material desire. Nirmamo nirahankaraha. So if you are nirmam means you're not feeling a proprietorship over others' things. You're not saying me and mine. Nirankar, you don't have any pride. Sa shantim adhigachati. So he will attain the peace. Okay, let's move on to chapter 3. So chapter 3, I'll just make a quick pause if you have any points to say or something to ask. Everyone is looking very serious. They have absorbed everything. I'm not too sure about that. Maybe thinking ये सब ऊपर से जा रहा है. Is going on top of our head. Anyway, I hope I was able to pass few verses in a very, very nutshell. If there's any questions, I can take. Sumit Prabhuji or Sonia Mataji has a question or a comment.
She has a comment.
Comment. चलेगा.
प्रभु जी सीरियस इसलिए है कि सबको चिंता हो रही है आई गेस कि आप इतनी जल्दी जल्दी सारे वर्सेस बोल रहे हैं और हमें 12 वर्सेस याद करने उसी में हम लोग ऐसे हो रहे हैं. तो ये
13 है माता जी 13.
13
13
12 12 and 13. There's always a fight. Rupam Prabhu. Actually, he's very kind. Just to make us all awake, he has put that trick. As soon as the number 12 or 13 comes, everyone gets awakened. So thank you, Rupam Prabhu, for the nice trick. So whatever, 13 or 14, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, I hope you got some points, I would say, if not all the points. Let's start chapter 3. So chapter 2 was Sankhya Yoga. Chapter 3 is Karma Yoga. So many times we say first 6 chapters are Karma Yoga. Actually, they are not Karma Yoga technically. As Chaitanya Prabhu was explaining, they are from Karma Yoga to Bhakti Yoga. So that's what we need to take into consideration. So Krishna constantly is driving us towards Bhakti Yoga in each chapter. So this Karma Yoga is obviously defining Karma Yoga, is telling how to do Karma Yoga so that you can reach to Bhakti Yoga. 5 sections in this verse. So renunciation or work. So this is very nice. So Arjun asked 2 questions. Let's see chapter 3 if I have it. Chapter 2, chapter 3. I'm going to Veda base. Much better. So 3.1 here Arjun asked a question that if you think Buddhi is greater, that's what Arjun's interpretation is, then why are you engaging me in such a ghastly warfare? So tat kim karmani ghore mam niyojasi keshava. So ghore means very ghastly warfare. So if you think buddhi yoga is better, where I had to Arjun things like that, sit down and do shanti, 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 then sorry. Shanti, 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 then why you are engaging in a ghastly warfare? So Arjun could not understand Krishna so much at this stage. So he moves forward. I just want to show you the second section here. So Krishna responds to Arjun's question and say, Nishkam Karma Yoga. So you should do Karma Yoga, but what sort of Karma Yoga? Nishkam Karma Yoga. Now, while I'm on that, let's do one quick thing here, which will be part of syllabus here. Everyone can see my screen here. This is a slide which I think I have shared earlier. So generally unrestricted sense gratification, they don't follow in rules and regulations. That's animalistic life or animal life. If they follow rules and regulations of Shastra to achieve something, that's called karma kanda. In English, they say regulated sense gratification. So they are respecting devtas, they are respecting Mother Nature and all that, but they want to achieve something, karma kanda. They have not yet reached to the point of connecting with the divine. So when you go above from karma kanda, we go to sakama karma yoga. So karma yoga refers to connection with the divine. So they accept the divine authority, but they're still interested in getting some enjoyment after offering to the Lord. That's fine. That's called sakama karma yoga. So karma yoga, they are attached with the action and the fruits of the action, but in relation to the Lord. So yoga means in relation to Lord. Karma is the work, and sakam is the fruits. When we moved from sakam to nishkam, they are not attached to the fruits, but they are attached to the work. I have to do my duty. I cannot be, dutiless. So that's called nishkam karma yoga. It says detached from fruits of the work, but attached to the work. And when you go up, Jnana yoga, you're neither attached to the work or the fruit of the work. But what you are saying, Brahmavadi, Brahman, Satya Jagat Mithya. So Brahmavadi. When you go beyond that, this is the Brahman level. When you go beyond that, Ashtanga yoga, when you focus on Paramatma, which Dhruv Maharaj was doing, if you remember Srimad Bhagavatam, in the heart, Paramatma. He did Ashtanga yoga practices successfully. And then finally come to Bhakti Yoga, where you're not only just concentrating on the Paramatma, you're serving the Bhagwan. So in Ashtanga Yoga, there is no service aspect, but in Bhakti Yoga, there is a service aspect. So devotee is trying to please the Lord, not just concentrate on the Lord. If you remember Prabhupada's disciple, Shrutikirti Prabhu, he was giving a class and he was saying, Prabhupada used to say, work now, samadhi later. Work now means work for Krishna. My Guru Maharaj says, work very hard for Krishna. For Krishna, work very, very hard. But we work very hard for material things. Guru Maharaj says, you work hard for Krishna. So Bhakti Yoga, we are working hard for Krishna for the pleasure of the Lord, not to get something from the Lord. Whatever Lord provides, so-called good or bad, it's all okay for a devotee. Okay, I just wanted to share that slide so that we understand where we are. So Nishkam Karma Yoga. So we are at this level of Nishkam Karma Yoga. So we are above than Karma Kanda, we are above the Sakam Karma Yoga, we are on the Nishkam Karma Yoga. So this is what Krishna is instructing Arjuna. Yes, Prasannatma Prabhuji.
Prabhu, how Sakama Karma becomes yoga? Because we are attached to the fruits and attached to the work. But how is it a yoga?
Yes, Prabhuji, but we are offering, say you earn $100 in a day's work. So you offer that $100 to the Lord, or a part of it. You offer to the Lord. So you know that unless I offer to the Lord, it's not good for me. But I want to enjoy with that. So that enjoying mentality is there, but you're connecting with the Lord. And it can be a very religious activity you are doing, but in the mind you have some prestige and that I should be respected in my community. That's what you're doing the work. But if I don't do this connection, some people give 10% to the temple, for example, as a duty, which is very, very nice. They're doing yoga, but they're enjoying the fruits of their work. This is what the car I like, this house I like, this dress I like. This is what I like. So that they do with their own mentality, but they connect to the Lord as well. But what happens with the connection of the Lord, little connection of the Lord? When devotee was giving this example of devotees are like Vaman Dev. So Vaman Dev, when he initially comes, what did he say to Bali Maharaj? Bas teen pa bhumi chahiye. I only want 3 steps of land so I can just sit and lie down and do my bhajan. And then later he increased so much. There was no space left. So similarly, devotees are like, just add Krishna to your life. You don't have to change your life. Just add Krishna, add Krishna, add Krishna. And after that, what happens? There's no room for you. You go to the kitchen, someone came to my house and is saying, so which one is Krishna's shelf and which one is our shelf? I said, there is no our shelf. It's all Krishna's shelf. Ours is just a little one here. So when we started, you remember in India, we had a Krishna's plate. Huh? There's a Krishna plate. And the rest is all ours. But now what has happened is other way. Only 1 or 2 plates we have for us. Everything else is for Krishna. So Krishna comes like a little Vaman Dev in our life. And he expands so much. There's no room for ourselves. Huh? Initially, people have their own photos, their wives' photos or husband photos. Now you go to devotees' house. Which photos you see? Krishna photo. Everywhere you see Krishna, Krishna. Where are you? I don't know. Where is my photo? When did I take my last photo? I don't know. So Krishna is so cute. He's so cute. He just takes a little finger. Huh? Just hold my finger and then he will hold your hand. Then hold your palm. Then he will hold your hand. Then he hold your neck. And then he'll sit on top of your head. There's no one Krishna room. There's only, where is your room? Okay, that back one. So
Sakama yoga means you have a desire for your fruits, you want to work for your own thing, but still you offer to the Lord and enjoy it. That's it.
Yes, Prabhuji. I like mango, so I buy mango, I offer to the Lord, and I enjoy mango. I don't care if Krishna likes it or no, but I just do it as my duty.
So we do that also, bro. If you are hungry, you buy something.
Yeah, yes, that's why, Prabhuji. But we are on a journey. Huh? We know this is wrong. What we should be doing, we should offer mango to the Lord when Lord likes it. It doesn't matter we like it or no. But yeah, we are on a journey, Prabhu. You're right. What you're saying, we all practice that. We like bhindi, so we buy bhindi. we buy okra just because I like or my kids like okra. Huh? But actually, it's wrong, technically. But at the same time, we are on a journey. We cannot just switch off our material desires. So what Prabhupada said, you connect. Okay, you like okra, you buy okra and offer to Krishna. And then you eat okra. Slowly, you'll ask, today is Radharani's birthday. What does Radharani likes? I'm seeing here Divya Mataji, she's cooking Radharani's feast, for example. So she prepares, she goes through, and Asim Prabhu goes through Shastra. What does Radharani like? She likes guiya. She likes arbi. I'll make arbi. Now, I may not like arbi, but that doesn't matter. I'm making it for Srimati Radharani. Prabhupada likes kachori. Huh? You go to Prabhupada Janamdin, you go to appearance day of Prabhupada. What do you find? In every temple, tell me honestly, you'll find kachori. His name is Kachori Mukhi. He'll have 2 kachoris in his hand. He will 2 kachoris in his pocket. He's 2 kachoris in this pocket. He will have kachoris everywhere because he likes kachori. So on his birthday, we make kachoris. Now, you may not like it, or you may have diabetes or cholesterol or BP. You don't have to eat it. No one will say anything. But if you don't make kachori, Are bhai, Prabhupada, the parents' day, where is the kachori? So that is bhakti yoga. Is it okay?
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah. It's a long journey. It doesn't happen overnight. And that's why we are neophytes. At least I am. Maybe you're not, but we are neophyte devotees many times. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Well, when you say yoga, right, that's fine. Of course, we are actually connecting to Lord Sri Krishna, right? All over. But what do you say that people that normally do that, they operate to demigods? What do you say? What is the term for that?
Karma kanda.
Then anything like, even if they do it with the intention of the fruit or without the intention of the fruit, they want to satisfy the demigod. Everything is classified as karma kanda only. Then
karma kanda, simple. If you are not connected to the Bhagavan, it's all karma kanda.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, let's move forward. So Krishna instructs Nishkam Karma Yoga. So I'll just pick up one verse, the most famous verse, 3.9. Yagyarthat Karmno Yatra. Where is my, okay, 3.9. This very, very famous verse, not sure is in the list. You should know this verse. This is the verse which actually Acharyas explained. For Karma Yoga as well, you need Bhakti Yoga. So this is the combination, integration of the Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga verse. Very, very important, 3.9. As we have 719 and 647. So for Jnana Yogi, we have 719. For Karma Yogi, we have 3.9. And for Ashtanga Yogi, we have 647. So you can remember that for your knowledge. Again, it's not for exam, but it's very nice 3 points. So 3.9, Yagyarthat. So Yagya Artha, what does Yagya mean? We have discussed multiple meanings of Yagya. Anyone?
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice, that's one. Another?
Yagna Purusha, Vishnu
definitely.
itself.
Sorry?
Vishnu himself.
Vishnu.
Yagna
So one of the names of
Purusha.
Vishnu is Yagya in Vishnu Sahasranam. So Yagya Arthat. So you should do karma for Vishnu. Yagya Artha. Artha means hetu, business. You should do karma for whom? For Vishnu. It's clearly mentioned in this verse. Prabhupada writes, work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. And it says, Lokoyam karma anyatra, anyatra. If you don't do that, what happens? So one is positive, one is negative. If you don't do that, loko, I am loko, in this loka, karma bandhana. So if you're not offering your karma to Lord Vishnu, what will happen? They will bound you. They will bound you. Tad artham karma kontaya mukta sang. But if you do that to Lord Vishnu, mukta sangha samachara, you'll get liberated. That's 3.9. I'll go to 3.13. Very, very famous verse. Yagya shishtasana santo muchante sarukil vishai bhujate te tokam papa ye pachanti atma karanat. So yagya shishta means the remnants left in the sacrifice. Like when we offer a bhoga plate to Lord in our home, so we expect Lord is eating it. If we offer 4 chapati, sabji, dal, rice, and all that, so Lord eats it, and whatever is left in the plate, we are supposed to accept it. Now, obviously, we don't see that on a gross level, but we do understand if we offer with love, Lord accepts it, and then whatever is left, we mix it in all our sabji and dal, and then we eat and we honor that prasadam. So if we do that, we don't get any karma, rather we get bhakti. But if you're not doing that, what happens? So if you do that, yagya shishta santo muchante means chhod dena. You get rid of what you will get rid of? Sarv kil bishayas. Kil bishay means refer to pap. Sarv means all pap. You'll get free from all pap, all reactions. But if you do that atma karanat for yourself, what will happen? Bhujate te tu agham papa. You're only eating the sin. So basically, this is the verse you can quote for others when say where Bhagavad Gita says we should offer the food. 313. Okay, now from 14 it starts the cycle. I'll not read all these verses, beautiful verses. I'll just go through this slide, which I think I've shared with you all. Yeah. So I love the verse actually. Annad bhavanti bhutani. So bhutani, jivas like you and me, where do they come from? Annad. They come from Anna. Anna, grain. Where does grain comes from? Parjanya. Parjanya refers to rains. Where does rain come from? Yagya. So rain comes from Yagya. And where does Yagya come from? Karma samudva. Karma here refers to prescribed duties. And in 15, where does karma comes from? Brahma udbhavan. Brahma here refers to the Vedas. So these 2 verses are explained in this chart here. So all embodied living beings depend on food grains. Food grain comes from rains. Rains come from performance of Yagya. Yagya are born of the prescribed duties. Prescribed duty come from the Vedas, and Vedas come from the Supreme Lord. So similarly, we are dependent on the Supreme Lord. Many times we say, many atheists say, why do we need Lord? Here is why we need the Lord. If Lord will not be there, nothing will exist, and we will also not exist. Okay. I'll say 321. Again, a very, very, very famous verse. Yad yad achriti se shatattate ved rojana sayat pramanam kurte lokastat anuvartate. So whatever actions the great men perform, common men follow. Yad yad achriti shreshthas. Shreshthas refers to the great people. So who are the great people in this modern society? Our cricket stars, cinema stars, Bollywood, Hollywood stars, some business tycoons, they are the stars. Who were the stars in the previous ages? Like Mother Sita, Anasuya. They were the role models for the ladies. And for men, Vashishta Muni and Lord Ram, Lakshmanji, Hanumanji, they were the role models. And who are the role model today? I'm not sure. If you name someone, I may offend them, but there are many, many rich people where young people try to imitate them. If they are wearing a certain type of clothing, I'll not say it, they will try to imitate similar clothing. They will have a similar hairstyle. I don't have a hairstyle, but their hairstyle they will copy, huh? So many things they will copy just because this particular celebrity is wearing that or having that hairstyle. So they have a great responsibility, Prabhupada says. Huh? All the great people have great responsibility. And if they follow dharma, all the common men will also follow dharma. If one celebrity become a vegetarian, many people, many fan club, without even asking any question, they'll become vegetarian. If they follow, if I heard Virat Kohli, if I'm not wrong, he came to Hare Krishna temple in Sydney. It was published, very nice. One of our devotees gave him Bhagavad Gita. He had photos. So all his fans will get a message that, this is a nice book. And they may buy it, they may read it, and they may apply it. So they have a great responsibility. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all world pursues. And 22 is very nice verse. Name parthasti kartavyam trishi lokeshu kinchan na anvaptam avaptavyam vart ev cha karmadi. So Krishna is saying, for me, in all the three words, there is no prescribed duty, but yet I am engaged in prescribed duty. So if Krishna is engaged when he is here in his prescribed duty, so should we be engaged in prescribed duty, or we should just be, lazy and just sleep and relax? No, we should also perform our prescribed duties. And what is the prescribed duty for all of us in general? Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nastev, Nastev, Nastev Gatirnitha. It says we should be serving the holy name, or we should be doing duties which serve the holy name. So we cannot chant 24/7, but suppose you go to the market to buy some vegetables for Radha Gopinath, you are serving Radha Gopinath and the holy name at the same time. So we should try to dovetail our life in such a way, every moment we are in the service of the Lord. Otherwise, we'll be in service of Maya. There is no third choice. Serve Gopinath or serve Maya. There's no third thing. Okay, I'll take 327. This is in the list, Rupam Prabhu, I guess, right? He's saying yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hari. I like Mohit Prabhu's responses most promptly. He's Chupa Rustam, he's very humble devotee, but he learns everything the first.
Fully in confidence, Prabhu.
Fully in confidence.
Well, not in the test, Prabhu, when you see my marks. 000.
Oh, Krishna. Oh, 000. That we will not
Not
give.
even one.
That we will not give.
He printed the shlokas today, Prabhu.
Okay. He printed the shlokas today for all of us, huh?
I got a key sheet, Prabhu. Yeah, all of them. I put 10.
10 copies.
He engaged, ANZ printers in so much in Radha Gopinath service. He gets so many printouts, Prabhuji. He gets like 100 printouts for Damodar Ashtak. Then again, 100, this, that. I'm sure ANZ is getting so much Sukrati because of Mohit Prabhu. Okay. 327. Prakrte kriyamanani gunahi karmani sarusha ahankar vimunatma karta aham iti manyate. So all work is done by Prakriti. Gunahi karmani, the guna, the modes of material nature, ahankar vimunatma. So if we think I am the doer, I am called a vimunatma. So I am completely delusioned. Karta aham. Aham means me, man. Iti manyate. If I consider I am the doer, but actually the whole thing is done by the modes of material nature. I am a vimuda. So you can say why I'm working. Am I not working hard to get the result? No, you are working, and you are one of them in the whole series. So only 20% work is done by you, 80% work is done by else. You are the desirer. Anyone remembers the example which we discussed of Baldev Vidyabhushan in this particular verse? Anyone? The woodcutter and the axe. So the axe, the woodcutter desires to cut the wood. He takes the axe and he starts cutting. So who's cutting the wood? The axe is cutting the wood. But the axe cannot cut the wood itself because axe is not conscious. Who's conscious? Woodcutter. Now, woodcutter, if he doesn't have the axe, he can't cut the wood as well, right? So both are important. But who's the desirer, initiator? That's the woodcutter. But rest of the things he had to provide to. Now, if the tree is too strong, suppose the tree does not get cut. Suppose the rains or winds came, demigods are not favoring the environment, then he cannot cut. So many other factors are also present. So he cannot say, I am the doer alone. So he's also one of the doers. He's not the all in all. Okay. There are many nice verses. I will go to this last series, which is very beautiful. 336. When Arjun starts asking, Atken prayiktoyam papam charati purusha anichannapi vashneya baladib niyojitaha. So Atken prayiktoyam papam charati purusha. So what is that force inside which sort of impels us to do the pap, although we don't want to do it? So by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly? And we all experience that inside. There's something speaking all the time. All the time, someone is speaking inside. And we know it's wrong, but sometimes we still go on that path. So Krishna responds very beautifully.
Lust.
Kama esha, krodha esha, rajo guna samudbhava, mahashano mahapapa, vidhi enam iha varinam. So what is that? Kama. Kama means desire. So we have this desire for trillions of life in our heart to enjoy the material nature. So it can't be switched over overnight. So Krishna says, it is lust only, Arjun, which is born of the contact with the material mode of passion. Rajo Guna Samudbha. Samudbha means born of. Rajo Guna means mode of passion. So born of mode of passion is lust only. Now, lust does not necessarily only mean male-female attraction. Lust can be anything which we want to enjoy without Krishna. That is called lust. It can be a very simple thing. It can be the highest thing. Okay, I'll not go through these verses. So Krishna basically tells where does it reside and how to deal with the enemy. So I'll go with how to deal with the enemy. 41, yes, this is the verse. So how to deal with this lust? Krishna says very nicely, Tasma, therefore, tam indriyan ado niyamya bhartashava. So what's the keyword here? Niyamya, regulate. Krishna is not sort of blaspheming, oh, you rascal, you fallen person. No, he's saying, yeah, that's all right. What do you have to do? Niyam. Niyam is follow. Even if you don't like, follow. Regulate your senses. So I'll read the translation. In the very beginning, and yeah, when you have to regulate in the very beginning. When the disease is too big, then you go to doctor. What doctor will say? Why didn't you come earlier? Jagannath Gopal Prabhu will tell Mama, if you had pain earlier, you should have told me. Why did you wait for pain to get worse? Isn't it? Your boy will say, Mama, as soon as you had the pain, you should have rung me or talk to me. Mama will say, oh, it's all right. And it's too late. We have to do big therapy now. So whenever in the very beginning, as soon as possible, there's a disease, you try to attend to it. Now, don't attend too frequently, otherwise whole day you'll be at a doctor's place, isn't it? We have so many diseases. Manmohan Prabhu materially will be very happy. Ajao. No, he's a devotee, but I'm saying doctors are very happy when you go to their clinic. They give you so many. I think Manmohan Prabhu was saying they give you most of the time one sugar pill, and you feel you are taking medication. Actually, it's just a sugar pill. Body is healing you, and you feel, I'm taking medicine. This doctor is so good. No, it doesn't mean doctors are not good, but many times it is dealing with your psychology. Is it true, Manmohan Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, dealing with the psychology of the patient, while body is doing majority of the part. So in the very beginning, curb this great symbol of sin, lust, by regulating the senses and slay this destroyer of knowledge and self-realization. So pap manam prajahi enam jnana vijnana nashanam. So the key word here, you can say the second line. What does it do? What does this lust do? Jnana vijnana nashanam. What's the difference between jnana and vijnana? Anyone? Jnana, knowledge and realization. So it destroys our knowledge and realization. So the fourth chapter after this second chapter, after this third chapter, Krishna will talk about this Gyan. That's why the fourth chapter is known as transcendental knowledge. So let's go to this fourth chapter. I forgot to share the summary. So this has 5 sections, as you can see. Name is transcendental knowledge. So Krishna is talking many times in the last section, in the third chapter, about knowledge. So basically now in this chapter, Krishna explains what that knowledge is and how you gain that knowledge. So he gives that knowledge himself without getting prompted by Arjuna. So Arjuna doesn't ask any question in this chapter. He just starts this chapter himself, giving that knowledge and how to gain that knowledge. And also, you can see the second section, applying that knowledge. So first he says about him, then he says how to apply that, then understanding karma on the platform of jnana, The second last section, sacrifices leads to transcendental knowledge, and the final section is conclusion. Let's look at some verses. This is filled with beautiful verses. So first verse, Evam vivasate yogam proktavan aham abhyam viswan manvepaha munur ikshvakave abravit. So Imam, this knowledge I spoke to, this knowledge of yoga, connection, I spoke to Vivaswan, which is the sun god. Proktavan aham abhyam. So abhyam refers to imperishable. So I spoke this imperishable knowledge to sun god Vivaswan. Vivaswan, Manvepraha, he spoke to Manu Maharaj. Manu Ikshvakave Abravi. So, and Manu spoke with Ikshvaku. Ikshvaku, you know, the Surya dynasty, solar dynasty. Prabhupada writes somewhere here, this knowledge is 120 million years ago. So first Krishna spoke in this material universe we are talking, this knowledge not only 5,000 years ago, but 120 million years ago. But what happens? Sakale nehmata yogo nishta parantapa. It appeared to be lost. We cannot say it was completely lost. It appeared to be lost. And that's Krishna says, I'm speaking it again. Now, one important word here, Rajarshi. Anyone knows the meaning of Rajarshi? Rupam Prabhu is ready to say.
So the Kshatriya who follows the dharma properly and follows as per the Shastra, rules the kingdom as per the Shastras, and understand the difference of soul and super soul.
Okay, yep, that's nice. Vijay Gopal Mataji said saintly kings, which is nice. More, I'm looking for more. They're all right. Saintly kings is right, and as Rupam Prabhu said, so it's two words, Raja and Rishi. Raja means king, and Rishi means a sage. So one Raja who is a sage, what does it mean? The Raja is the king of outer world. Raja is, you know, very passionate. He maintains himself very nicely. He controls outside world. And what is Rishi? Rishi controls inside world. So Rishi, who is the controller of inside world, Raja, who is the controller of outside world, if you combine them together, integrate into one personality, that's called Rajarshi. So it's a very, very great person. He has the ability to control inside as well as outside. Then he can rule the world. Now imagine today's Raja, today's leaders. They are nowhere close to this world. Nowhere close to this world. And forget to speak of big kings, even in our home. We think we are the Raja, we are the king of the home. How much we are Rishis. So we always think about the Raja, but we should more think about the Rishi rather than being Raja. Then we'll be successful. Otherwise, it's just very external, very, very external. We may be able to control few people, control them for a while, but what's the point? Raj Rishi, very important word, controller of the inner as well as the outer world. Nowadays, we hardly have even Raja, what to speak of Rishi.
So this is also a verse to memorize.
Verse to memorize, Hari Bol. Rupa Prabhu also memorized at least the sheet, which verses to memorize. Okay, and this 4.3, very, very important verse. Krishna is saying, I am revealing that rahasya, that secret to you. Why? Two qualifications of Arjun. What's the two qualifications of Arjun? Bhaktosi me sakhe, sakha cheti. So bhakta means devotee and sakha means a friend. You're a friend of mine and you're a devotee. That shows to gain knowledge from Krishna, realized knowledge, I mean, you have to have a relationship with Krishna. You cannot get the knowledge without Krishna, which many karmis and gyanis say. It's not possible. You have to have a relationship. And what sort of relationship? Kansa relationship, Ramana relationship? No, a bhakta relationship. Anukulen, Krishna Anushilanam. Anukulen refers to favorable relationship with Krishna. When you have favorable relationship with Krishna or his representative, then you can get this knowledge. Yoga will only, Divya Gyan Hridaya Prakashito, only will be possible when you have a positive, favorable relationship with Krishna. Krishna is saying here, and Rupa Goswami will explain that into NOD, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Now Arjun is asking a question. So everyone knows the question, but what's the etiquette in this question? 4.4. What's the etiquette which we see Arjun is following in this verse? I'm not asking the question. If we are confused,
how to submissively ask.
How to submissively ask. So we are allowed to ask question when our Guru Maharaj says, a senior devotee says, we are not able to understand. That's fine. We're not asking with challenge. How come you are saying this? No, submissively. And Prabhupada writes very nicely, how I am to understand that you are born before Vivaswan, which is a valid question at that level of understanding. And then Krishna starts responding. Shri Bhagavan Vacha, Bahuni me vetinani, Janmani tab charjun, Tanyam Veda Sarvani, Natvam Veda Parantapa. So there are many, many births I have passed, and you have passed, but I remember all the births, but you don't. So Krishna sort of proves himself much higher than the level of Arjuna, and then he starts explaining himself. What are the characteristics? Aja. So Krishna is, Aja means Aja, no birth, not born. Avyatma, imperishable. So, what's the similarity between Jiva and Paramatma? We are also Aja, we are also Avyaya, not body-wise, but soul-wise. But the third qualification, which Krishna distinguishes from our qualifications, are Bhutanam Ishwaropisan. Are you the Ishwara of all the Bhutas? Are we the controller of all other Jivas? We are not even controller of ourselves. What to speak of controlling others? So Bhutanam Ishwaropisan. Prakritim sam adhisthaya sambhavami atmaya. This word is also very important. When he descend, so when we descend, how do we descend? Based on our karma. We are thrown into a mother's womb, in a cat's mother womb, or a human mother womb, or a demigod mother womb. But Krishna is not like that. He is appearing Atmaya. He is self-manifest. Wherever he likes, he goes to the house of Vasudev Devaki, he goes to the house of Aditi and Kashyap Muni. He goes wherever he likes. But we are not like that. So, clear difference between Jiva and Bhagavan. Now, 7 and 8, everyone knows these two verses. So, why Krishna comes? So, Yada Yada Dharmasya, when Krishna comes and how he comes. So, when he comes, what does he do? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkratam dharma sanstapnarthaya sambhavami yuga yuga. Big commentaries given, but in this particular verse, if you translate, so what does he do when he comes? Paritranaya sadhunam, he delivers the pious and annihilates the demon, and he establishes the dharma. We have read many commentaries now. This verse, now when Prabhupada was asked, I'm sure I shared that, which is the most important verse in Bhagavad Gita? Someone says 926, Patram Pushpam Phalantoyam. Someone said 1865, Manvana Bhavaman Datto. Someone said 1866, Sar Dharmanu Parityaja. Then Prabhupada says, no. Which is the most important verse? 4.9. So as per Prabhupada, this is the most important verse of Bhagavad Gita. And Prabhupada says that's why what you have to do, hear about Krishna, hear about Krishna, hear about Krishna. And if you hear from a proper bona fide authority, then all your contamination will go away and then you will go back to Godhead. Punarjanma na iti. So then you will not come back in the material world. Okay, I'll leave all this. Yeah, this is again very, very important. What's the key word in this verse? Anyone? Key word. Two things we can take. Krishna is a person. Only person reciprocates. So if you try to reciprocate with Hava, with air, can you reciprocate with the air? Air, I love you. Air, please come and sit here. Air, I will give you a nice shawl because it's very cold outside. You can't reciprocate with the Hava, but you can reciprocate with a person. You can offer them some bhoga, you can offer them some clothing, a seat, nice words, all this. So, and Krishna is a reciprocal. Reciprocal means as you surrender to Krishna, that's how much he reciprocates. And many times we say, oh, Krishna is not listening my prayers. But what's the proper answer? I'm not doing prayers properly. It's not Krishna is not answering the prayers. I'm not doing the prayers properly. And many times we do the prayers like that old lady going in a jungle with a load of wood in her head. She fell down in the very hot sun. And she said, Krishna, Krishna. Krishna came, mother, what can I do for you? What did she say? Put the load back on my head. So that's what we do. We can laugh at this lady, but that's exactly what we do. We say, Krishna, Krishna. Krishna said, what can I do for you? Krishna, please solve my this problem. Krishna, solve my that problem. Krishna, please settle my house, settle my health, settle my wealth, and blah, blah, blah. But we do not ask Krishna, can I get out from here? Can I get out from here? So what's the best thing to ask from Krishna? Not to settle here. Set out from here. Get out from here. That's the best prayer we can do to Krishna. Please make arrangements so that I'm not interested anymore in the material world. I want to get out from here. No more settlements. Huh? One final settlement with Krishna. 4:13, another important was Chatur Varne Maya Shashtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. So Krishna says, I have arranged all this Varna and Ashrama. So what does Varna refers to? Anyone? Sorry, I've been running a little fast, but I thought it will be.
Varna refers to society.
Sorry, one person can say, and maybe Mataji can say first. Mataji, Sonia Mataji.
So Prabhuji, Varna is the 4 Varnas, like
Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra.
of the society, like Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra.
What does Varna do?
So Varna is like the prescribed duties that we have.
Okay. Yep.
It could be in the different 4 divisions, like as a brahmachari or as a sannyasi.
They are the ashramas. So this one is Varna, one is ashrama. So Varna refers to the body, ashrama refers to our spiritual advancement. So for a body, you may be a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So, you know, you have a psychophysical nature, you're like a Kshatriya, you want to fight or you want to rule and take taxes and all that, or you're like a Brahmana. Huh? So that's for the Varna, that's for the outside. And for the inside world, we have ashrama. So we take shelter. Ashram means ashray. We take shelter of an ashram. Brahmachari ashram, grahastha ashram, sannyasi ashram, vanaprastha ashram. So what does ashram do? It elevates our consciousness to a spiritual level if we follow it properly. Huh? So one is for outside. So Krishna does not ignore our body. He said, no, that's fine. If you have a propensity of a Kshatriya, be a Kshatriya. That's what he's saying to Arjun. Don't try to become Brahman. Be a Kshatriya, no problem. You can still go back to Godhead. So we are a Brahman, we are a Shudra. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What we have to do is start practicing bhakti very, very solidly. Akama sarva kamava, moksha kama udardi, tivrena bhakti yogena, yajeta purusham param. Tivrena bhakti yogena. You may have all the desire. Doesn't matter. So Varna and Ashrama for outside and for inside. Rasanand Prabhuji, you were saying something earlier?
Yeah, same thing, Prabhu. But Varna is based on the modes of material nature.
Yes.
Where we are influencing Brahmana is more in the mode of goodness. Like Kshatriya is more of passion, and Vaishya is passion and ignorance.
Yeah.
Shudra is mostly in mode of ignorance.
Yes. Yeah. That's also very, very nice. Based on our nature, we can act, and Krishna allows that, but we can still make a spiritual advancement. And also one last line is also very important. Vidhi akartaram ave, but do not think, you know, I am responsible for all that. Huh? So I have not made someone Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So I like this person, I make him Brahman. I don't like him, so make him a Shudra. Krishna doesn't do all that. Huh? Krishna facilitates, like you're playing a football match or a cricket match. So you can join the team you like, huh? And then you wear a blue t-shirt or a green t-shirt or whatever that team wears. Okay, I think we can go to 4:34. Again, the most important verse. We'll finish 4th chapter and then we'll move on. So 4:34 is one of the most important verses of the 4th chapter. It's in the list. Should be, I guess.
Yes, yes, Rup.
Okay. So Tadvidi Pranipatena. So how you get the knowledge. So this verse is one of the famous verses of Bhagavad Gita where Krishna is proving that you need a spiritual master. We need a spiritual master at all the walks of the life. I go for a walk in the park and you see so many trainers are there training, you know, young boys and girls in the morning. And you ask them about spirituality. They will need trainer for boxing and for running and jogging, for cooking. They need gurus. But for spirituality, they deny, I don't need a guru. Why do I need a guru? Krishna is saying you need a guru. And once you have a guru, how do you approach a guru? Tadviti, what are the 3 key words in this verse? Anyone can say? Who has been sitting silent? Raghavi Mataji, you're looking after, that's all right. Manmohan Prabhuji, would you like to say what are the 3 key words here in this verse?
Sorry, I'm on mute, Prabhu. Yeah.
That's okay.
So I think Pariprashnena, by submissive inquiry.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And Pratipatena, by approaching a spiritual master.
Yes.
And the third word would be upadekshanti.
This is the one word is sevaya.
Yeah.
Sevya. So pranipatena, pariprashrena, sevya. Divya Mataji, would you like to expand on these three words or any one word? This, Prabhuji has already given the hint.
Pranipatena is by approaching a spiritual master.
Yes. So what does it expand to, Mataji? So how do we approach a spiritual master? So first is humility. So pranipati, like Danvat Pranam. So you basically, when politicians come, they don't do Danvat Pranam. When a devotee goes to temple, they do Danvat Pranam. So we show our humility. Mind may not be humble, but at least bodily wise. So pranipatin refers to our humility. Pariprashnena refers to inquisitiveness. So don't just go and sit next to the spiritual master and take a photo. I was very humble sitting down. No, then you have to ask inquiry. And what sort of inquiry we do? How to expand our business, what we can sell in ISKCON so our business increases. What should be our topic of inquisitiveness? Spiritual inquiry. How can I advance from a weak devotee to a strong devotee? Or around that topic. Pariprashnen. And how do you get that knowledge? Not only by asking. So asking is good, obviously, by sevaya. Now, what does seva mean? Anyone can say? Don't translate the word, which is fine. What does it mean? Especially for us, because we are also sevak. We are all servants. Seva means? Yes,
following the instructions, Prabhu.
Following the instructions. Yep, that's very good. Divya Mataji, you also about to say something?
Pleasing your master or...
Yes, so we'll combine both together. Follow the instruction in a way which pleases the master. Follow the instruction, definitely. Master says something, but in a way which pleases. Many times we follow the instruction. You tell your young boy or young girl, 7-8-year-old, do this job. They will do jobs in such a way. You'll say, "Bhai, main kar lunga. I will do it." They follow the instruction. But mama will say, "Beta, can you please step out of the kitchen? I will do it myself." So follow the instruction in a way which pleases. So that pleasing part is very important. And obviously following part is important. So following we start and pleasing we end, sort of. Say our spiritual master is pleased. That's the success of that seva. Now whole world is pleased with us. Is that the success definition of the seva? Whole world is clapping us, garlanding us, what do you call, thumbing us on a Facebook, liking us, 5,000 likes. Is that the success of the seva? Our spiritual master is pleased. Vaishnavas are pleased. Hari, Guru, and Vaishnav. If these three personalities are pleased, the whole world is pleased. That's very nice. Or whole world is displeased. We don't care. Hari, Guru, and Vaishnava. Spiritual master, all the Vaishnavas, and the Lord. If these three personalities are pleased, we are on the right path. And one important quality of a spiritual master is given, Jnaninas Tattva Darshana. Where does this Tattva word has come earlier? Everyone knows that. We just discussed it. Tattva.
4.9.
4.9. What's the verse, Prabhuji?
Janma karma e divyam.
Evam veti tattvataha. Yeah, so tattvata word is used in the second line of 4.9. And here Krishna is saying tattva, that they have seen the truth. They have seen the truth. That's how they can help you. Okay. Yeah, these two verses I really like. 439 and 440. Shraddha val labate jnanam. So who will achieve this jnana? Who has Shraddha. So you cannot achieve jnana just by some mechanical process. I go and I learn the verses. No, that's fine. You learn the verses, it will still purify you. But what you have to have is Shraddha, faith. Shraddha val labate jnanam. So if you have Shraddha, you will get the jnana. Again, he's leading to Vijnana. Jnanam ladva param shantim. And with that jnana, what you will achieve? Param shantim. But if you don't do this, the opposite is 440. What are the three disqualifications of a person who is described in 440? Anyone? Maybe Mohit Prabhu can say. You will be ready. Hare Krishna, Mohit Prabhuji.
So much.
That's okay. What are the 3 qualifications described of a person in 440? Qualifications or disqualifications?
Let me see, bro.
That's okay. That's okay. Anyone else? Sumit Prabhuji? Remember this? We have discussed all this.
Yes, Prabhuji, we've discussed this.
No problem.
Oh, the non-knowledge?
Agya.
No,
Agya is
Agyani,
one.
no knowledge.
Ashraddhanas. So Agya means no knowledge. Ashraddhana, who doesn't have faith. And Shanshayatma, 3
No faith,
disqualification. One who has
no.
doubt. No knowledge, has no Shraddha, and has doubt. What will be the result? Vinashyati. He'll get destroyed. Na ayam loko, na paroso. Neither in this loka, not in the next loka. Very, very clear, Krishna is saying. Huh? So you'll not get sukha, you'll not get happiness, you'll not get satisfaction if you don't have Shraddha. Huh? And they say, no, ignorance is bliss. No, agya is ignorant. He'll not get param shanti, he'll not get it. So ignorance is no bliss. When you're driving with over speed, can you say to the policeman, oh, sorry, I didn't know what's the speed limit? What he will say? Sorry, bad luck, $344, 5 demerit points. And if you're driving Christmas, 10 demerit points, probably double fine, I don't know. So no excuses. Priya Mataji.
Krishna Prabhuji, I just want to ask with the translation, it's saying why they mention God consciousness, not Krishna consciousness.
Prabhupada is just generalizing, Mataji. That's all, yeah.
Okay.
Because as we have discussed earlier, Prabhupada is writing for a Western audience, and many times he presents facts which relates more with them. And many times he does other way as well. He's very clear about Krishna, even when Krishna is not given in the verse.
Okay.
Yeah, just generalization, that's all. Okay. 42. This is also a very nice verse. Tasmat. Tasmat means therefore. So the conclusion is given in this particular verse. Tasmat. Agyan sambhutam. So agyan sambhutam is which is born. Sambhutam is born out of agyan, ignorance. So whatever is born, whatever doubts is born in your mind out of ignorance, what you should do? Chitvayanam, shanshayam, yogam. So with the knowledge, with this knowledge which I have just given you, chitvayanam, cut it through. Prabhupada writes, therefore the doubts which have been arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. So we should achieve this knowledge again, not to show off to others, but to cut our doubts, because many times we have doubts. Our internal demons are always present within us, and how they can be cut through this knowledge. So, and the finally, Krishna said, Atishto Tishta Bharata, O Bharat, stand and fight. So all of you, Krishna is telling you, Krishna is giving message, all of you, Bhakti Shastri devotees, stand and prepare for the exam. That's our final conclusion of the day. Tasmad Agyan Sambhutam. So whatever doubts you have, kill it through the reading Prabhupada books, and then stand and fight, prepare for the exam upcoming next week. Okay, I'll stop here. If anyone has any questions or comments, I'll take. Prasannatma Prabhuji.
Prabhu, I was just thinking how to prepare this for reading purports. Everything will take 1 month maybe.
Prabhuji, that's why we've been reading for last 41 weeks. Sumit Prabhu, 41st week or 42nd?
No, even if we read also, we may not remember.
No problem, Prabhuji. We should still read. Reading Bhagavad Gita is very purifying. Just read as much as possible. As I said, exam is just one part in our reading of these books, and that sort of puts us a little pressure so that we can read. The main idea is to read through Prabhupada books, and again, as Prabhupada says, application is the key. So we are just journeying step by step.
So any hint, Prabhu, for the exam, how to prepare?
Prabhu, as I said again, your assignment is your main thing, Prabhuji, and read the key verses with the purports, and also, as I've said last week as well, I'm repeating again, read this PDF file, Prabhu, which is given in your hand. This PDF file, just know these. You don't have to cram it, Prabhuji. I'm repeating again myself. Don't have to cram which verses cover section 1. Just know the flow of the chapter in your head. Just a light flow. You should just know the chapter. Nobody is going to ask you in the exam. So stages in yoga practice, which verses to which verse. No one is going to ask that. Just get a little summary overview of each chapter in your head. Closed book essay type questions. And just read through this PDF. For example, Prabhu, this says symptoms. So Arjun asked a question in 254. He asked 4 questions. He responded. No one will ask these numbers. I'm telling you again and again. In exam, you're not going to write 258 to 63 is the counter argument of the 3rd question of Arjuna. No, just know these 5 arguments given by Arjun: compassion, enjoyment, how it's getting defeated in the Jnana section, in Karma Kanda section here. Just get this overview in your head. There's only few pages in this PDF file. Bro, this PDF file is your base.
Okay. Okay.
There are certain, this yoga letter, I've already explained this yoga letter. It's very easy. Karma Kanda, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Paramatma realization, Bhakti Yoga realization. Okay. Is it okay, Prabhuji?
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah. And one last general comment. Again, repeating, it's a very, very simple exam. Don't be fearful. Everyone can do it. I'm telling you. Just prepare nicely. Come in. You can do it. You'll love it after exam. You say, oh, it was actually easy. Huh? I'm telling you. So just be confident. You all know a lot. Just prepare 1 week nicely. Come next week. And it's in the temple. Radha Gopinath is there. What's the fear? It's our first house. We sit with Gopinath and we just write what we know. Everyone can do it. So 2 to 5 is the exam. Please arrive at 1:45 with your laptops. It's online exam, no writing on a piece of paper. So you'll be given a piece of paper, and you literally have to write in your doc file, shloka you will speak. And after 2 hours, if you are late, extension will not be given because you came half an hour late. So 2 o'clock sharp we start. Paper will be distributed 1:59. I'll read with you for a minute or so, and then you'll grab the paper and you'll write it, whatever questions are given in the exam. And at 4 o'clock, you shut down, you email me or you give me in USB, and then we start the shloka session. It should not take more than an hour, and then we take Krishna Prasad. Happy, simple. Tanya Mataji is all ready. She is fully confident. She has just passed a higher exam.
Will there be internet, Prabhu, for Wi-Fi, for email?
Good question. I hope the temple will have, but if not, you can connect with your mobile hotspot or something. Don't rely on temple, but I'll try to get it. But we all have hotspot. Just connect it for a minute or so. It should not take too much mobile data. And email me the file. I prefer email, not USB, so at least we have a record. That's what you have sent to me. You can just send it through whatever laptop, phone, whatever works for you. Priya Mataji, you have a question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Just to clarify, the short answer questions, you're only expecting 1 or 2 sentences, not big. Yeah.
Yes, maybe 3 max, not more. Just explain what you know. Give references if you can. Just say 247, 213. I will know. Just 213 is enough for me. So I'm not expecting 100 words question. Just 2-3 lines. Just whatever is sensible. You will have enough time. Honestly, I have increased the time which was originally allocated for this exam. I've increased another half an hour. It was actually done 90 minutes. I said, Prabhuji, it's okay. So I've done 2 hours. You will be able to finish in 90 minutes, actually, most of you. But I've still done 2 hours. So don't worry, you can write 4 lines if that's what is needed. Just present what you know. Again, not a lengthy one, but a good description. Many questions, I'm repeating myself, it's just 1 word answer. 1 word answer, you get full mark. So you just write that 1 word. It's a fill in the blanks, right? You just put that word and question is done. Relatively very easy. So just be happy. Don't get into pressure.
Prabhuji, are there any multiple choice questions?
No, Mataji. Actually, they are more difficult, to be honest, if you have to select multiple answers. Actually, I had done one exam, not in this batch, in the previous batch. People didn't like it. Because they said, Prabhu, the options are so confusing. Actually, they were confusing. So sometimes, what we think is easy, that's not so easy. So in this exam, okay, Mataji, my answer is no. There are fill in the blanks.
Prabhuji, Harish, I'm just telling
Harish, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You're right, Prabhuji. With multiple choices, you actually have to study.
He has attended my previous exams. sometimes, huh?
Our alumni group.
Yeah, alumni. He's from a senior batch. Harish Prabhu is from senior batch. He has done it earlier, so he's sharing his experience.
Prabhuji, I think previous batch is better rather than
See, you always like it. I think this batch is also very good. This batch is filled with beautiful devotees, and they're all very hardworking, very intelligent, very scholarly, sharp, and very good servant of Prabhupada. That's all I'll say. No, very, very good devotees. Anyway, we'll see you. It's 9:17 now. I'll stop here. If you have any questions, so next week we'll cover 5 and 6. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer. If you have any other questions, you can please call me. I may not immediately respond to you, but I'm happy to set up some time with you to talk to you if that's what is needed. Any time of the week, which suits both of us, and help you whatever I know to get through this exam next week, 11th. So 4th is Gita Jayanti, and 11th is our Bhakti Shastri Jayanti. first milestone. And please, if you have not sent your assignment, send me your assignment as soon as possible in one file. Not 6 or 12 files, just in one file, all in one. And it will be easy for you to read through that file as well. A clean file will be appreciated, but that's okay. I'll manage. Okay, I'll stop here.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.